So I would like to introduce to you Michael Bond from the Soil Association Exchange. Michael is sales manager and will be discussing how it can help you measure and benchmark your farm's environmental performance, access independent advice and unlock new funding. So I'll hand you over to Michael.
Thanks very much. There we go, that's me. Great, thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today. When I saw it was a silent disco, I was absolutely terrified by the fact that I could start talking and seeing everyone's headphones go a different color. So please be kind. I couldn't think of anything worse for a speaking metric of how you're doing than glowing headphones going a different color. But anyway, Mike from the Soil Association, and really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today. Soil Association, just to kind of touch on our roots, will be 80 years old next year, founded in 1946. And I was reflecting on on that journey and how soil is still so central to the conversation around sustainability. And our founders being kind of researchers and scientists, Lady Eve, etc. And that we're still having that conversation today, and how farmers are still at the forefront of kind of innovation and practice change. And really what we've tried to build here with Soil Association Exchange are some tools to help farmers on that journey to sustainability and resilience. And as the kind of title of the topic today suggests, how then we link that up with financial performance as well. So Soil Association Exchange, in that kind of context of the Soil Association, is very new. Founded just a few years ago. We're essentially a startup, a small team based across the UK. But with an important idea that how does data collected on farm inform decision making, and how can that be rewarded? So we're working with about 2,000 farms now across the UK, and I'll give a little bit more of a background to those in a second. But I suppose what we're delighted about within our kind of first cohort of farms is the feedback that we've been receiving, and the fact that the way that we go about working on farm and advising farmers is having real impact. So lots of really positive feedback from our early adopters, and importantly that people are seeing an opportunity to improve financial performance, improve profitability through engaging with Exchange, and that it will lead to practice change through the advice that we give on farm. So where are we at this point in time? As I say, we're launched in 2022, now over 2,200 farms engaged, and the vast majority of those farms have been funded by corporate partners. So they are really interested in what's happening on farm, and how are those farmers able to progress on their journey to kind of climate change and resilience. So as you can see here, anywhere from lenders, retailers and processors. But we do also work with at a kind of a landscape level with individual farms, with landowners, large estates and clusters as well. And the Exchange platform, which I'll demonstrate a little bit at the end of these few slides, hopefully give you an idea of how that can be a really powerful tool for kind of capturing data and then using that to kind of set a trajectory and an endpoint for kind of where we'd like to see farmers head in that journey. So a really diverse number of farmers, and as you can see, a large geographical spread. Actually just launching a project, first farms in Northern Ireland, and also looking at a pilot project about to launch in Spain, because again of those supply chain links that are on the screen. So what do we do? So the first key component of Soil Association Exchange is to measure, to get on farm and to look at ground truth evidence of what's happening on farm. We then provide bespoke advice to those farms through our team of advisors, and look to link up that advice with opportunities for financial reward. So that measurement is across 6 main areas: soil, carbon, water, biodiversity, a social standard and animal welfare. And farmers gain a metric score against each of those, and on the dashboard can see how they're performing against each of those areas. So the metric, once you log into your account and upload your farm, just by adding your SBI, it automatically pulls in lots of data from different providers. But I think it's really important then that that's also qualified by people coming onto farm, doing soil test, VES, earthworm scores, biodiversity, observations, etc., to give a kind of a full picture of what's happening on the farm itself. And then linking that, importantly, those scores to expert advice. What do these scores tell us? What are the priorities? What are the areas that we could influence change? And how then could that help the farm's profitability? How might it help access new routes to market, new funding? And in some cases, rather than provide that advice ourselves, we then work with other partners, other advisors to provide training, so that kind of word spreads. So particularly within some corporate partnerships, we might have multiple kind of partners who are providing that delivery. So our advisors are highly trained experts in agroecological principles, some specialists within certain enterprises, and as I say, a large spread, and they are experts at looking for opportunities to improve things on farm, but also to link up with sustainable funding opportunities as well. So the crucial part then is to link that change in practice and the evidence that we've gathered on farm with the rewards that may be out there, either through private schemes, through those kind of corporate partnerships, so improved lending rates, a premium on a product, also public and private opportunities. So, for example, you can evidence within the tool for an SFI, we're compliant against 2 elements of the Scottish Whole Farm Plan. So by gathering that data, you can help then use that as a reporting tool for those extra funding schemes. One of the newest areas that we have developed is our own fund, the exchange market. I've been talking to a few people about this today. So again, those kind of corporate relationships that we've had, we have the first now internal fund within Exchange. The exchange market is linked to arable enterprises, and we're specifically looking at a reduction of emissions through change of practice. So identifying farmers, who've gone through the baseline process, and then coming up with a joint action plan based around a farm carbon toolkit to take steps on farm to reduce emissions by change of practice within an arable operation. So they developed their own specialized greenhouse gas action plan, and linked to that then a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions leads to a payment of £60 a tonne CO2 equivalent. So just to give you an example of some of the areas that a farmer could look at in terms of the actions that they can take. So it's crop level. It's crop level emissions. That's really important, and also it's a 12-month contract. So in conversation with the advisor, which actions are appropriate for that farm's enterprise, the farming system, and coming up with a plan and the flexibility to kind of choose the right actions that would lead to the emissions on farm. I would now like to do something very awkward and just give you a demonstration of the Exchange platform. So I am going to do something that's not recommended and change to thanks very much. So yeah, I just thought I'd give an opportunity, because I've mentioned it a number of times. There we go. Thank you. This is the platform. So you log into your account as a farmer, upload your SBI, and it automatically produces your farm's maps. You can click into a parcel level and look at habitat data and amend that data accordingly. you'll see here that we then produce a plan based on the soil type. So we're in conversation with the farmer, a sampling plan for soils, sampling plan for biodiversity, for our technicians to go out and take those data. So you can see those points here marked on the map as to the different kind of habitats and the different soil types. And after that data is inputted, combined with external data sources, you start to get your overall benchmark for the farm. So here are those metrics I mentioned earlier, those 6 areas. And then under each of those are individual metrics and scores related to each of those. So crucially, if we take bird species, you can now start to see how you're performing against other farms within Exchange itself, and also against wider industry scores. So just helping get a kind of contextual understanding of what's happening on farm, and then link to that the specific advisor recommendations that would help improve that metric over time. And you can see here, this is an example farm, but where those have been actioned, and where those are still outstanding as opportunities for change. I'll just come back to the dashboard. So as you can see, it's a comprehensive set of scores, and you can start to identify where the priorities are on farm. And this is what the advisor is really looking at in partnership with the farmer to come up with a meaningful plan for change that fits with the farming system and the objectives of the farm, and also linking that to funding opportunities. So within this, you can manage SFIs, you can produce evidence and reports and upload data. What we really want to see is the Exchange platform essentially becoming a tool that farmers readily use for capturing environmental data on farm, using that then to evidence whether that's for future biodiversity net gain or SFIs or other plans. We're building into the funding tool private schemes as well from the kind of supply chain side, and some of those funders that we talked about earlier who've put farmers through this. There's also resources, how-to guides, an increasing level of tutorials, and the flexibility to add in your own data. So maybe your own advisor or your own soil survey, soil analysis results, they can all be uploaded into the platform. So this becomes a hub for seeing those results, storing them, and being able to track change over time. So here you go, here's the sample, the laboratory results, for example, for the soil samples that were taken on this farm. You can continue to add to that over time, and hopefully a really powerful tool for capturing all of this information and seeing the change and reward for the effort that you're making. I'm not sure if we're able to do questions, but yeah, in terms of presentation, that was everything I wanted to cover. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, are you around for the rest of the day? Can we find you somewhere?
Yeah, we're middle row, just on the right-hand side, halfway down.
Brilliant. So thank you very much to Mike. Can we just give him a quick show of thank you very much?